for the first 30 seconds. Imagine this: a cute yellow circle running endlessly through a maze, smiling while being chased by colorful ghosts. Yet behind this innocent arcade classic hides a story of psychological manipulation, unsettling design choices, hidden messages, and mechanics created to trap players, drain their coins, and quietly rewire how video games controlled human behavior forever. And by the end of this video, you will never look at Pac-Man the same way again, because what seemed like a harmless retro game was actually one of the most calculated, clever, and secretly disturbing experiments in gaming history. Pac-Man was released into arcades as a friendly alternative to violent shooters and space battles, instantly attracting players of all ages with its simple design, catchy sounds, and approachable characters. Yet beneath that colorful surface existed a game engineered with ruthless precision, designed not only to entertain but to psychologically dominate, frustrate, reward, and ultimately control the player in ways that most people never consciously noticed while feeding coins into the cabinet. The maze itself was not randomly designed, because its tight corridors, sharp corners, and looping tunnels were carefully structured to create constant tension, forcing players into repeated moments of hope followed by panic, as Pac-Man narrowly escaped the ghosts again and again, creating a cycle of stress and relief that kept the brain engaged far longer than a fair or relaxed game ever could. Each ghost, while appearing silly and cartoonish, secretly followed complex behavior patterns that simulated intelligence, with one ghost aggressively chasing Pac-Man's exact location, another attempting to ambush from a distance, another acting erratically to confuse the player, and another switching strategies at random, creating the illusion of chaos while actually following strict rules that punished predictable movement and encouraged players to make mistakes under pressure. The power pellets, often remembered as moments of triumph, were actually psychological traps because the brief reversal of power trained players to chase danger recklessly, knowing that the empowerment would fade quickly, causing panic rushed decisions and frequent deaths. Just as confidence peaked, a tactic that modern games still use to manipulate pacing and emotion. Even the sound design played a darker role than most people realize, since the iconic repeating music subtly increased in tempo as the game progressed, raising heart rate and anxiety levels without the player consciously noticing, while silence between sounds created moments of anticipation that amplified fear, making every corner feel dangerous even when ghosts were far away. As levels increased, Pac-Man slowly removed mercy from the experience, shortening power pellet duration, increasing ghost speed, and shrinking reaction windows, ensuring that even skilled players would eventually fail, because the game was never meant to be beaten indefinitely, but instead designed as a slow, inevitable descent into loss, encouraging repeated attempts and continuous spending. The famous kill screen at level 256, often mythologized as a glitch, is one of the most unsettling secrets of all, because it represents a moment where the game itself breaks, the maze becoming unreadable, numbers overflowing, and progress becoming impossible, symbolizing a hidden ending where obsession reaches a hard limit and the illusion of control collapses completely. Behind the scenes, Pac-Man was also a masterclass in behavioral conditioning, rewarding players with fruit bonuses, score sounds, and brief animations that acted as dopamine triggers, long before the science of addiction became mainstream, turning a simple maze game into one of the earliest examples of habit-forming digital design. Even the characters themselves hide darker symbolism, because Pac-Man's endless consumption without rest, pause, or satisfaction reflects a loop of hunger and survival, while the ghosts, each named and color-coded, represent constant pursuit, failure, and inevitability, creating a subconscious narrative of escape that never truly ends. The arcade environment amplified this effect even further, as Pac-Man cabinets were often placed strategically to attract crowds, with bright colors and recognizable sounds acting as beacons, drawing players in, while spectators watched silently, adding social pressure that made quitting feel like defeat and encouraged players to continue, even after repeated losses. Pac-Man's global success also changed the gaming industry in ways few people realize, because it proved that games did not need complexity or realism to dominate attention, but instead needed tight feedback loops, psychological tension, and carefully tuned difficulty curves, inspiring countless developers to adopt similar methods across genres. What makes Pac-Man especially unsettling is how invisible its manipulation feels, because players remember fun, nostalgia, and excitement, rarely recalling frustration, stress, or anxiety, despite spending hours trapped in repetitive cycles of failure and retry, a testament to how well the illusion was crafted. Even decades later, Pac-Man remains influential, not just as a retro icon, but as a blueprint for modern game design, mobile games, endless runners, and live service experiences that rely on the same principles of short rewards, rising difficulty, and inevitable loss to keep players engaged. The true dark secret of Pac-Man is not hidden text, lost code, or secret messages, but the realization that one of the most innocent-looking games ever created quietly taught the industry how to control attention, behavior, and emotion, shaping gaming culture forever without most players ever realizing they were part of the experiment. Pac-Man did not need violence, story, or realism to become legendary. because its true power lay in understanding human psychology better than anyone expected at the time, turning a simple yellow circle into one of the most effective and influential machines ever built for keeping people playing. And now that you know what was really hiding inside those colorful mazes, the next time you hear that familiar music or see those blinking ghosts, you might feel something different, because Pac-Man was never just a game, it was a carefully designed loop that changed gaming forever. If you enjoyed uncovering these hidden truths and want more deep dives into retro games, classic arcades, and the secrets developers never talked about, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment sharing what shocked you the most, and share this video with anyone who thinks Pac-Man was just a harmless little game.